Is this not the best cardigan you've ever seen? It's pastel. It's so many colours. It is my life. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. I'm looking like a disease. Let's fix that. So today I'm going to do another rotation get ready with me, which is basically when I just do a makeup look with the most recent makeup products that are in my collection, the most recent things I've bought. So everything in my rotation is from 4 videos. So I did a testing Morphe, testing Misguided, and then I just did 2 other first impressions that just had a random selection of brands in. So I've got all of that makeup up my drawers, and we're just gonna create something. I want to transform. The thing is, I'm going to do quite a colourful eyeshadow look, so I might just look like an alien at the end of this, but I still feel like it will be an improvement. Okay, so let's get straight into this. I'm going to start with eyes, as I always do. Just going to use my Technic Eye Canvas base. This isn't actually in my rotation, but I've just been using it for pretty much every eyeshadow look I do, either this or the Beauty Bay one. I used to just exclusively use concealer on my eyes, but I just quite liking using actual eye primers at the moment, even though I only have 2. So I have 2 eyeshadow palettes in my rotation at the moment. So I've got the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions palette. I used this in my last rotation Get Ready With Me, so I am not going to use that today. And then we've also got the Kimchi X Naomi Smalls 2 Queens in 1 Desert palette, and I've used this probably about 4 or 5 times now, and I have to say I'm loving it. It's fantastic quality. So I'll put some pictures up of some looks I've already done with this. First one I did was sort of a neutral coppery kind of eyes, the copper metallic and the sort of more neutral matte shades in it, and you know, that was just a fairly standard look, nothing crazy, but all the shades worked really well. Then I tried to do something a little bit artsy. Don't even ask what this is. This is just, I don't know, it's just like, oh, let's just go crazy and do something. But all the shades that I used in the palette worked really well with it. Then I did a blue and a pink look, which I think turned out really nice. I also did like a pink strawberry lemonade sort of look yesterday with this, where I used the yellows and the pinks, and again, I quite liked it. I want to do a green look with this palette today, just because I feel like I've not done just like a straight up green look today. We've obviously got a lot of kind of green mattes at the bottom, and then we've got this sort of foresty shimmer shade up here, so I want to do something with the greens today. Usually I do one eye off camera, but I might as well let's just do it all on camera today. I don't know how this is going to go. Might be awful. We'll see. I think I'm going to start with this sort of neon-y green shade called Mojane. This one here. And I'm going to put that in, well, above the crease area. I'm going to add a little bit of this. I'm going to add a little bit of Dwarf Desert Peony. I'm guessing this is a reference that I don't know. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of that shade just above it. I don't know if it's going to make much difference, but let's just see. Then we're going to use a shade called Yucca, which is a more sort of minty green shade. And we're going underneath of that. Can we just talk about the pigmentation though? Like, the vibrancy, I just can't. I've really struggled with these sorts of shades in the past with other palettes, but it just works with this one. I'm going to add a little bit of the black called Sit Yourself. I'm just going to add a little bit of that in the outer third. Save that, I've just put frickin' loads on, haven't I? Annoyingly, this palette doesn't have like a matte white or a shimmery white or something to put under the brow bone, so I'm just using one from a random Gosh palette that I have just to blend under the brow bone. And I'm going to do a cut crease just with the same Technic eye primer. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little bit of my matte white from my other palette just in the inner corner of that cut crease. And then back to the Kimchi palette, I'm going to use Gecko, which is the green shimmer shade, and that's going over most of the lid. Catch up on the other eye and also just clean up the edge with a wipe. Okay, so we're back, the other eye's done. I've just cleaned it up a bit, done some blending. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. It's a bit, I don't know if I love it, but it is what it is. It's on my face now. Let's move on. So for eyeliner in the waterline, I have 3 in my rotation at the moment. So I've got the Revolution Pro Visionary Gel Eyeliner, which I think I used in my last rotation, Get Ready With Me. And I've also got the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner in Blackout. And I also have Misguided Slick Flick Waterproof Gel Eyeliner. I think I'm going to use the Misguided one because I've not used this as much as the others. I think it needs a bit of a sharpen there. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this in my top and bottom waterlines. The mascara, I have a lot in my rotation at the moment. So I've got the I Heart Revolution Chocolate Dipped Mascara with coconut extract. I've got Nabla's Major Pleasure Mascara. I've got the Revolution 5D Lash Mascara. Misguided's Real Thick Lash Mega Volume Mascara. And the Morphe Mascara. So far from using these, I feel like my favourite two are definitely the Misguided and the Nabla one. I like the Morphe one as well, but this can come out really clumpy sometimes, and it's the sort of thing where if you're like patient with it and you work with it, you can sort of get rid of the clumps and get a really nice lash with it, but it's like a sort of learning curve with this guy, so that kind of just makes me like the other two more. And I have to say, I'm not digging the 2 Revolution ones that much. The I Heart Revolution one is better, I would say, than this one, but I just feel like they don't do as much as the other mascaras that I have. I haven't reached for the Revolution ones as much, so I might give them a go in this video. I'm going to try the 5D lash today, and if I just want a little bit of extra, I will layer one of the other mascaras over it. But this one I just was kind of disappointed with, but we'll see if I get a better result today. I'm just going to curl my eyelashes first. Yeah, I have to say this mascara is just like, it's done something, but it's just, considering like how hyped up this damn thing was, it's just kind of let me down. I'm going to layer a bit of the other Revolution one, which I do prefer this, but yeah, I seem to remember this being quite difficult to remove as well. I'm going to layer a little bit of this one as well, just to build up the volume a bit more. That other one has definitely added a bit of something. We've definitely got some volume there now. This one is alright actually, I don't mind it. It's just, I seem to remember this like being quite, like, it does kind of cling to your lashes and it's a little bit difficult to remove at the end of the day. Okay, so we're going to move on to base now. I'm going to skip out primer because the only one I have in my rotation is this one from Revolution, which is their Super Dewy Skin Elixir Makeup Serum. I have to say I'm just not really enjoying this. I just feel like my base products just don't go on top of this very well, I've noticed. I feel like it kind of just makes things patchy and just sit a bit weirdly on the skin, which is weird because it's a makeup serum. You would have thought it would work well with makeup, but I don't know, I've just not had a good experience with it so far. For foundation, so I've got the Morphe foundation in rotation, I've got the Too Faced Born This Way Matte, I've got the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation, and also the Misguided Meet Your Match Foundation. I want to use the Too Faced one today. I've still not made my mind up about this. I feel like I just don't know if I like this or not. I'm undecided. Hence why I want to use it today, because I just want to experience this a lot more before I can come to a final judgment. The shade for this is Cloud, and it's a little bit pale for me, so I'm going to add a little bit of this yellow LA Girl mixing pigment. Not too much though, because in the past I have tried to mix this with the yellow pigment and put way too much of the yellow in, and it just made the whole foundation like ridiculously yellow, and it wasn't ideal. Okay, I think I've mixed that okay. See, some of the times that I've used this, it was with that primer underneath, which again I think is another reason why I've not really made my mind up about this filly, because I just feel like foundation wasn't performing well on top of that primer. So I've just got bare skin. Okay, so I am happy with how it looks on the skin. I think it has a nice finish like it is matte for the most part, but there is still like a little bit of like kind of natural oils coming through, but without it being like an oil slick. I do feel like, I don't know if it's advertised as full coverage. I don't think it is, which is probably for the best, because I don't think it is full coverage. It is just like a solid medium coverage, which is fine. Obviously my skin's quite problematic at the moment, so I generally am looking for things that are a little bit more than medium at the moment, but when my skin is cleared up, I probably wouldn't mind that coverage as much. I do think it looks nice. I just, I think I've had some bad experiences with it just because of that primer. But without the primer, actually, I think it does look pretty nice. It's just not full coverage. Let me get close. What do you think? Do you think it looks good? I like how it's sort of matte, but you can still see like skin, but you can still sort of see like my natural oils without it being like overly oily or anything. And I don't feel like it like emphasizes my texture too much, which is pretty good. For concealers, I've got quite a few here. I've got the Kimchi, the Most concealer. I've got the Morphe concealer. I've got Misguided Meet Your Match concealer. I've got the Revolution Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye concealer, and I've also got Benefit Boing concealer. I think I'm going to use the Kimchi one today. Yeah, I think I'll use this under the eyes, and then I think I might use the Misguided one on my blemishes. I have to say I don't love the packaging of this. It is like a little bit, I feel like you have to squeeze a lot to get the product to actually come out. So yeah, actually I feel like it looks a little bit darker than the foundation, so I think it might be alright to actually use this on blemishes as well. Okay, and for setting powder, I've got a few. I've got the Honest Beauty setting powder. I've got the Kimchi Puff Puff Pass loose powder. I've got the Revolution Eye Bright powder, Misguided Radiant Mattifying powder, and the Morphe Filter Effect powder. I'm going to use my Kimchi one today. That's what I'm feeling. I'm going to use this under eyes and on the rest of my face as well. So I'm going to start by using my little sponges under the eyes, and I'll switch to a brush. So moving on to bronzer, so I've got I Heart Revolution contour palette, which I do not like the bronzer in. I don't know if it's meant to be a bronzer or a contour or what, but I don't like it regardless. I've got the Nabla Skin Bronzing Powder in Amber, which I'm really liking. I've got Misguided's Instant Vacay Bronzer, which I quite like, and also the Morphe Bronzer in Mastermind, which I also quite like. I think I'm going to use my Nabla one today. I have to say I'm pretty impressed with this. See, when I got it, I was like, is that shade going to work for pale skin? But it translates on the face really nice. So I'm just going to pop this in my usual bronzy spots in the cheeks and the forehead, a bit down the sides of the nose. Fantastic. I do also have this NYX Sweet Cheeks. It's a blush, but it's in the shade So Taupe, and it's sort of a very grey, contoury shade. I'm going to do a teeny tiny bit of contouring, mostly on the nose, I think. I think this does actually work pretty well. There have been times where I've used it where, like, I've not got it to blend out the best, but it's definitely workable. And the shade is a really good, like, cool-toned contour shade. But I would say just be sparing with it, which I often am not. There we go, I feel like I got a pretty decent application that time, a bit more subtle than I've done in the past. I've only got one blush in my rotation, which is the Revolution Reloaded in Sweet Pea, so I'm just going to add a little bit of that to my cheeks. This is an incredibly subtle, like barely there sort of blush. See, I feel like this would probably only work on like the palest of skin tones. I don't know if it would look a bit like ashy on deeper skin tones. The Reloaded blushes come in loads of shades though. For highlighter, again, I've got quite a few options. I've got the Revolution Pro Luster highlighter, the Nabla Skin Glazing highlighter. I've got a Unicorn Cosmetics Gloating Light Up Pressed highlighter. The contour palette I mentioned earlier also has a highlighter in, and I have the Misguided Highlight Powder too. I think I might go for the highlight shade in the contour palette just because I've not reached for that one in a little while and have reached for the other ones a bit more. Yeah, I just feel like this NYX is just such a better option compared to the contour shade in this, which is it's like way too warm to be a contour shade for a start off. Just using the highlighter in here, which is actually a really nice highlighter, and I'm gonna pop this on my cheekbones, nose, cupid's bow, chin, all the bits I'd usually put it on. Now moving on to brows. I think I'm going to use a gel today. I have been using like pencils a lot and then using like my NYX brow glue, but we'll use a gel today. So I've got the Morphe brow gel, got the Makeup Obsession brow gel, the Misguided one and the Sigma one. I've not used the Sigma one in a while, mainly because I didn't really like it, but I'll see if I can get a decent application with it today. So this is the Sigma Tint and Tame brow gel, and it's in the shade Dark. I've not loved this the few times I have used it. It's just a little bit thick and gloopy, a little bit just too intense. It's not the easiest to get a natural brow with it. But I'm going to give it a go. It's got so much excess, man. I'm just going to wipe the living daylights off of this wand. And we'll see. Okay, come on. Give us a nice brow. The colour is quite cool toned though, which is good because my natural hair is quite ashy. This brow's okay. This one, there's a little bit of splodginess going on here, but we'll work with it, we'll fix it. I've got 4 brow pencils in my rotation at the moment. I've got the Milani Precision Brow in Espresso. I've got the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil in Cold Brew. I've got Misguided's Oh Hey Brow Micro Precision Pencil in Dark. And I've got the Makeup Obsession. Why does it say eyeliner on it? It's definitely not an eyeliner. So Fine Brow Pencil in Dark Brown. Let's give the Misguided one a go. I've not used that one as much as the others. Let's see if I can just add a bit more precision, fix this brow a bit. We'll see how this goes. Might be badly. That eyebrow gel is crispy. It's crispy. Sometimes I don't mind crispy. Sometimes I do. Crispy is I don't know. Do I have anything against crispy brows? I've had like crispy brow gels in the past that I thought were okay, like the Max Factor one. But I feel like that was a different level of crispiness to this brow. They're quite thick. They're quite bold, but they're not the worst. They could be worse. You know what? Let's make them worse by putting in some NYX brow glue. This might just make them even worse. Probably will, but you know what? You know what? I don't know. Don't know what I was trying to say. Okay, back to eyeshadow. What should we do? Some green shades on the lower lash line, something like that. Just start with Mojang again and just whack a load of that on the lower lash line. Just literally just whack it. Thing is, obviously, because my under eye is set with powder, I won't get like the same vibrancy on the lower lash line as I do at the top. But I don't really know what else I can do other than not set my under eye makeup, which is, I don't know, I don't like that idea. Just don't like it. Then using Yucca again, putting that a bit close to the lash line. Then using some of the same highlighter we used earlier, just pop a bit of that in the inner corners, you know the drill. Okay, I'm going to layer the two Revolution mascaras again on my bottom lashes. I've got 4 lipsticks altogether. I've got one from Morphe, which is their Mega Matte in Boy Toy. I've got a Misguided matte lipstick in Note to Self. I've got a Beauty Bay lipstick in Freckle and a Nabla one in Backbeat. I want to use the Misguided one, which is probably one of my favourites, but I want to see if I can layer a little bit of the Morphe one on top, because this is like a very pale nude shade. This might not work. This might be a terrible idea, but we'll see. It is quite dry. The Misguided one is a little bit more hydrating. It's still a matte lipstick, but it's like a tiny bit more hydrating, and I've got a little bit of balm on still. Starting with the Misguided one. Okay, switching to the Morphe one. Let's see how this goes. Okay, that's worked pretty good actually. Okay, so I'm just gonna clean up all the mascara mess I've made, do some on my hair, and then I'll put some setting spray on and we'll be done. Okay, we're back. So lastly I'm gonna use the Morphe Luminous setting spray, and then that is it. Voila, we are done. Okay, so this is our finished green themed look. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. It's a bit, I don't know. The eyeshadow, I could have applied it better, to be honest, but I don't know. I mean, the vibrancy of it is incredible. The palette is just so good. The colours are so pigmented, so intense. And if that's what you want from a palette, I definitely would recommend that Kimchi palette. Base, lips, all that I'm really happy with. Eyebrows, they're eyebrows. They sure are things that are attached to my face, that is for sure. I hope you enjoyed this just little get ready with me with my most recent products. Just wanted to kind of play around with them a bit more on camera, because obviously I have been playing around with them a lot in my own time, but I just wanted to do something on camera. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.